junior dragsters, you know, turning 40 horsepower. So it's crazy. Going 790s at 80 some odd mile an hour. So, but you know, I've been thinking hard on the turbo build on this. Right now it is naturally aspirated, just a 6.0, naturally aspirated. I've got the nitrous possible setup, you know, I've got the turbo, I've got the, I don't have the complete hot side, but I've got the cold side piping, I've got the turbo itself, I don't have the drain line, I've got the blow-off valves, I've got all the stuff to plumb it in basically, or all the stuff to get it functional. I just need bigger injectors, a few things like that. You know, the basic stuff. When you start adding more oxygen, you got to get more fuel. So, but anyway, you know, if you were gonna do this cage, this is the prefab cage from S&W. It was the whole, I weighed the whole cage itself. I'll try to put a picture of it when I edit this, but the whole cage itself weighed it's like 140 pounds exactly. I've got the bed bars out, I've got the 2 door bars out, I've got the back braces that go across. Hey, I'll show you in a minute. I did not put those in. So I've got some pretty heavy bars that didn't go in. And I weighed what I didn't put in. What I weighed in, the top halo, the back main hoop, the hoop support, and the down bar was 85 pounds right at. And so I've added 85 pounds. It's mild still, 1 5/8" I believe is what S&W sends. The outriggers, we'll talk about that. I'll show you. I'm going to walk around this thing here in just a minute because it's pretty much done. I've been welding in some sheet metal. I went and got some thin gauged metal and basically filled my holes, but I'll walk you through this because this thing is done. It's welded in, and I'll show you. Those outriggers can be a little tricky. I'm going to put some gussets in there, and I'm going to show you because I've got some pipe left over. Because the main hoop, like I said when I started this thing, you know, it's like, oh, I think in the first part 1, I said, oh, it'll take me about 10 hours. Yeah, that was about 25 hours ago. So of course this video I had to speed through everything and pick it up because there was a lot to this. There's a lot of cut and there's a lot of measuring. These down bars, they took forever. And you know, I just wanted it to try to fit as good as I could and make it look decent and still able to get in and out. My seat fits in great. I did show that in part 1. You know, and it hides in there pretty good. So I was pretty proud. The pre-bent cage is really nice from S&W. So if you're questioning what cages to go with, there's several companies out there that make them. The pipe is 1 5/8". I don't remember. I believe it's 058 wall is what it needs. You know, but it's good. This is on the back bar from, it goes across the back halo, that support, the back hoop, main hoop. It goes across there and down to the cab, and you actually use the 6x6 plate they send you. I've used it for, you know, spattering and welding and backup and all kinds of stuff. I don't know where it's at right now, but like I said, I've got 2 of these. The door bars are not going in, and then the bed bars. So I'm not going to cut the back glass out. You know, it won't cert for $850 because that's what that stuff. The bed bars are required to go across the bed are required, and so are the door bars for $850 cert. But you know, I'm not going to be racing this thing on a bracket series, or you know, even I would love for it to go 850s in the quarter. I'm a long way from there, so needless to say. But you know, we can go get some ice cream in it, take a ride, go wherever, and hurt some feelings in the process. So, but anyway, it's slow. It's real slow. I just need to throw that out there too. So, you know, there's kind of that when I do it all over again. You know, I priced locally. They said for $2,000 they would have built a custom cage. $1,800 to $2,000 custom cage, complete fit, and I wouldn't have to mess with it. So, you know, whatever your budget is, whatever you're considering. I've had this cage for 2 years, so steel was cheaper then, and shipping on it was, I don't know. I'm not for sure on price, but you know, I don't know where S&W currently is on it, but yeah, I'd probably do it again, you know, just because I can say I've put the 8.8 in this thing, I put the 6.0, I put the Turbo 400, I built the cross member. Nothing's been bought, everything's been built. even down to the intake tube. We used air condensers from air conditioners from the junkyard, and we cut them and TIG welded them together. It's in another video if you hadn't seen that, but you know, we built everything almost, you know, of what you could get. But you know, it's got the dog dishes on it like everybody likes. They're like, oh my gosh. And so I got another set of short 8/8 axles today, so it will have all 4 factory dog dishes on it when I'm done, because I'm going to get those bad boys right there for the back. I'm going to get those drilled for a Chevy bolt pattern, so they'll be 5 on 5 1/4, I believe, is whatever it is. I believe those are 4 3/4 right now. 5 on 4 3/4, 4 8/8, I think. But I'll get those axles drilled for it and be done with it, and I'll have all 4 of those wheels on. So anyway, let's walk around this thing real quick, and I'll show you. I've got to keep this camera plugged in, so I'll try to keep it as still as I can. But let's just kind of start right here. I had to add a light in the video, so I added some light. Sorry to blind you guys, but it was dark in here, and when I was making these videos, I was like, wow, it's really dark. S&W didn't pay me. I just had that in the box. I set it there, but that's the cage that I got. I had to remount the factory. I'm going to use factory belts. I built tabs for a 5-point, and I'll use down here as well for the 5-point, and I'll use that for the 5-point as well. I'm just going to unbolt those and then bolt them back down with the 5-point belts, and so I'll have cam style 5-point belts in it. But as you can tell, this is kind of where I spent a lot of time starting this whole thing. And I welded that back in. I know, don't make too many comments on my welds down below, guys. But I just put some sheet metal back over that, covered that hole. So if I had to do it all over again, I know where to cut these holes and where not. I thought in the original it'd be closer to the door frame, not the actual frame. So the frame of the truck runs right where that post is, and it's kind of welded to it. So like I said, I got to finish doing a little touch-up paint like right there, you know, and I just kind of paint the most part of it just to kind of get some paint on it and not have to get too much overspray all over it. But so the bar right here, this guy, I originally had it about right there. I don't know if you can see my original, that's my original weld mark right there. It was quite a bit lower. I did a little bit of math, put the seat back in, and that was one thing that took a lot of time, just getting the seats, get everything to fit right. I wanted it to fit right because it would be in here for a while. So I raised that bar up quite a bit. I raised it up 6 inches. And so it is literally in between my elbow and my shoulder now when I'm sitting in here with the seat. And that's key. That's important. So the main hoop tucks up in there nice and easy so you guys can kind of see. Now, kind of get an idea what's level. That sticks out. Now with the window rolled down, you can't see it, and it's flush. But I made them just big enough, and I welded them on there, and you can see I made mine a little thicker plate than I did the passenger because I don't plan on getting on this a whole lot with passengers in here and whatnot, but you know, every now and then stuff happens. But this down bar, this is what took so much time, not trying to show my weld there, just looking at this bar. I did not get the dash bar that goes through the dash, but you know, that took a lot of time to kind of get all that. I painted it so I just kind of had some stuff back there. Plus my glove box doesn't shut. So now I got me a glove box holder out of some of this floorboard tin. Works great. I'll take that back off and paint it silver. You'll never see it. It'll hold my glove box shut. So guys, that's basically it. And I'll show you this outrigger. Give me just a second. And you can kind of see how I did all of this. I got to do some welding, but I mean, guys, that's how it's welded in there. And I've kind of painted everything just to give it a coat. Now on the front, on that, I had to do a little something different because I just couldn't get to my welds. So I used some thick, that is huge. That's not race car parts right there. That's like farm truck steel. That's legit. Like I could take that to the farm and we could make some tractors out of that, some some toolbar for a welt, for a planter, or geez, whatever. It's huge. It was thick, guys, and that's not light stuff. It's there. And I may make one of those tubes, get one of those tubes and make a gusset and bring it from there down to the frame. But, you know, I'm going to make a couple passes in this, go out there and make some hits and see what, you know, inspect all my welds, make sure everything, because, you know, my weak points, I've already kind of thought about that. I didn't put the dash bar in here either. So as you can tell, there's no dash bar connecting across. And I talked to my buddy Kev over at Kevin's Automotive. We're going to talk about maybe bending the original bar and just setting it up across the dash and welding it in and make it actually go on top, not on bottom. I just didn't want it in the way. And I put it kind of through there, and we might see if it'll go across and not hit the shifter, but you know, we'll see. That shifter could always be moved as well, but it kind of can't. But I could bring it up a little bit because of the seat on the back of it. So, but that's kind of how I did it, guys. So I didn't use the 4x4 on the, or the 2x3 outrigger like I did on the back. So the front and back are different. I'm gonna have to weld a piece of metal in that hole. Go figure the odds. But I had to pull that hoop up, that main hoop, a little higher because I wanted it to fit right back here. So it's tucked away, it's up in there real nice. If I ever did want to go with the bed bars, I could almost come straight out the back of the cab or drop it down and go through the Lex end. So, you know, I've got options on whatever I wanted to do. But I just didn't really want those in there, so they're not going in there. And the door bars, they're not going in there either. So, just so you guys can kind of see that, that cab mount is right in the way all over. There's my sheet metal, so I just kind of covered up my holes. But that cab mount's right in the way. That's going to be your biggest challenge in all this. So, but anyway, you know, it's solid. I mean, I'm excited to see how this thing's going to do as far as traction. But, you know, that was the biggest thing, just trying to get all this stuff lined up, guys. Like, getting these down bars to where the window's opened, because I've got cranker windows, and it all works. I can get my headlights over there on the other side. It's all there. Like I said, I got to finish some paint and just finish some touch-up stuff, but it is welded in. Basically did this all by myself in the garage. I probably have about 25 hours said and done, but I mean, I went all out, pulled it in and out. That top halo up there came out probably 30-35 times. I mean, in the videos I don't really show, I edited and cut a lot of that footage, but I mean, it's all there, guys. So it came in and out. I used this little strap right there across the top. You saw that in a couple of the video footage films. And so I went across the top. I don't know what I'm gonna put a headliner in it or leave it alone, but I got to put the carpet back in it. I'm gonna put some sound deadener back in it too, and I got to do fix the wiring over there a little bit. I got another piece of that gauge panel that I made my covers for, and put that back there and actually mount that to the cab, and that's where my power actually comes into the cab because it doesn't have factory wiring anymore. So just been spliced too many times, so I cut it all out and did away with it. But anyway, guys, if you have any questions, I mean, that's the bar. So there's the dash bar right there that didn't go in. There's the two bed bars, and of course the back bar. Then that's what I'm talking about. That bar would go right off of this. Those two bars would come right off of this and weld a tab right in there. I don't know what those are. They're just in the way. But it would go right there, and one on the other side as well. But, you know, I'm not putting all that in there, so that's my paint for the frame and stuff. So, but there's the carpet for it, and I'm going to put some of that sound deadener like that's right there that was there on it, and put this thing back together, and it'll be good till this summer. And gonna be on to the next projects, the motor and the Camaro, and I'll have some footage of that. That's going to be a small block build for you guys. It's got some pretty interesting goodies, and I'll have a video coming up on that before long too. But get that junior dragster motor rebuilt, get these kids going, And my dad's happy now. He's not mad. He's not, "You're gonna hurt yourself on that thing." He's all excited. So, but anyway, guys, it's in there. And if you like this, let me know. Put questions in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer them. I learned a ton. By no means am I a professional. I use that little titanium welder, Harbor Freight Special. We'll talk a little bit about welding. I learned a lot about welding pipe. You know, I'll show you this weld. I'm kind of proud of those welds right there. And it's a lot getting the settings right, welding this pipe, getting your welds right, keeping it strong, getting your notches, notching that halo, that upper halo right up there with that angle. That took some time, guys, because you got a little bit of an angle there. I did it with a chop saw. And you know, if you watch Tim McCamus and those guys, chop saw works great. It's what I got, so it's what I'm going to use. It's not like I build a lot of these things or desire to be a professional fabricator. But you know, this will come out really easy if I want to put a chromoly cage in it down the road, if I feel like my skills are stepping up to chromoly and TIG welding. And you know, I can TIG, but I'm not the best at it. But we're going to move on to the turbo build, get the turbo put in it next, and